Welcome to another session of LearnToBuildIt.com. I'm your host, Steve Kirscher, and today we are going to be hooking up this 7-inch LCD screen from Raspberry Pi. We're going to hook it up, but we're also going to mount it a couple different ways. So hooking up your Raspberry Pi to the screen is pretty easy. When you take your ribbon cable that came in the box, you have to pull out these little black tabs and slide the ribbon cable in. And push these tabs in with your fingers. They can feel pretty good or pretty tight, but it's not all that bad. Then what you want to do is loop this cable around like so and slide it into the Raspberry Pi. Now, there again on there, you just want to push those two pieces in tight. We'll set the Raspberry Pi on the back of it, and we have to take the screws that came with the Raspberry Pi. They were in there, and we will mount these on the back here. Now that I have the board mounted, I need to, and we have the ribbon cable attached. We have our Raspbian SD card in there. What we need to do is we need to power the Raspberry Pi from the monitor. So we take just this USB cable, and it's a micro. You will slide this into your screen under there on the USB port, and then we will put this into the port on the Raspberry Pi. Now, if you recall in the video, they gave you 4 wires that came with the Raspberry Pi screen. And what you can do is you can run these 2 wires down here. The outside far right wire is 5 volt and the inside wire is ground. And what you do is you would push these on and bring this one up to pin 1 and push this one on and bring this one up to pin 3. You would be able to power it that way. I, for now, like the cable idea. But it does give you 2 different options for powering. In one of the things that I've purchased, and I do label everything, I have a Dymo labeler, which really comes in handy. So this is the Raspberry Pi power cord that I bought, so that I knew I was going to have a power cord and be able to get all the power necessary. So let me plug this in. And once I plug in the screen down here, you will see that the lights come on and everything is now booting up. So we are able to start operating the screen. What I'm going to show you in this video, though, is not the operating of the devices. So I'm going to show you some other things that I've done for mounting it. These are some 3D printed legs. I did not design them myself. Somebody on Thingiverse, which I will give you their link, designed them. And they go on the screen like this using an M3 by 8 screw. They're pretty nice. They hold the screen pretty decently. The thing that I don't like about them is the power is coming out this way, and by default the screen is in this direction. So you need to mount them like this and set it down like that, and it hits this cord. So you do need to switch to the other power. However, you still have a cord coming out that bottom for the power going to the power supply itself. So now when you do mount these on there, it holds it up, and it's pretty nice. You can use this like this as a touch screen. So that does work very well for that. However, I designed some new brackets. These brackets do mount on here in a similar way and will get in the way of the USB, so I will be redesigning them. That cord comes out here and it's pretty snug to this, so I'm looking at maybe putting a slot in here for the cord, or like I said, powering it the other way. Now what this is designed to do is I have this box that we're going to mount the screen in. So I have a nice little box that has the whole entire computer and some room for some other things. So the screen goes down on the outside like so. Be very careful that when you're building this, you don't pinch these cables right here too much. So I cut this and I don't have a lot of play, but you can see I do have a little bit of a gap in there. These pieces are designed to go like this so that we can give a little bit of tension on them and make sure that that it is pulling, you know, kind of the screen tight. One of the things I was debating on is putting a small piece of foam around. I just haven't decided if I like that idea or not. Now, one other thing that I should tell you that I have noticed on here is on this screen, if you look closely, there is a little bit of a hump right there. I'm not sure if that's like extra glass or underneath, but it's not on this side. It is only on this side. So when I cut this, I made sure that I cut it so that it would land on the outside of that screen area. Again, I don't want to do any damage to anything. I'm trying to make sure that obviously we have a working device when we're done. So we will just screw this on here really quick. Now that I've made sure the board is sitting in here nice, these, when they tighten up, give a little bit of tension to help hold it in, and I know my wires are not being pinched. I'm all set. I have a nice little panel that I can use for a control panel or anything we want. So that's pretty much all there is to it. I will be looking for these boxes. It's something that I purchased a long time ago, but you now have a touchscreen. One other thing I should mention, though, is I noticed when I was messing around with mounting this, if these screws are too long and they go into touching this metal here, you'll get some weird artifacts on your screens, like if you're touching the screen wrong. So be careful of that. If you see that, back it out, put a washer in, make sure that you have the right size screw. Don't tighten it all the way down to that metal. Thanks for watching. Make sure you comment on my blogs.